Namaskaram. Welcome back to my mythology channel. I am Agad Dinesh Nair and I am resuming Vishnu's Dashavataram. And the topic for today is Krishna, the upholder of Govardhana. Sage Shukadeva, son of sage Vedavyasa, was narrating the story of Krishna to King Parikshit, son of Abhimanyu. Shukadeva was saying, when the cowherd boys returned home and related the exploits of Krishna and Balarama to the people of Vrindavana, they were struck with wonder. They began to believe that two divine beings had been born in their midst. The season of monsoon was going on. Krishna and his friends used to play in the rain, light rain, of course, for a long time. But whenever the rains got heavy, they had to seek refuge in caves. So, autumn arrived, and Krishna was playing a very nice tune on his flute. The Gopikas were doing their work. They used to go to the temples in the mornings and they went to the river Yamuna to bathe and worship the goddess. So, once when they were bathing, they noticed that their clothes were missing. They searched everywhere and finally they spotted Krishna on a tree with their clothes. Krishna said, "If you want your clothes, come and get them." The Gopikas begged Krishna not to do this. They told him, "You're Nanda's darling. Please, we all love you. Please, give us back our clothes." But Krishna, however, remained stubborn. He was only doing this to test their devotion. At last, the Gopikas came and after they had dressed, Krishna said, "Await the moonlit nights of autumn, Gopikas. Until then, bye." Shukadeva explained to Parikshit that Krishna was trying to test the Gopikas' devotion only. Now, one day, Krishna and his friends were playing, but Krishna's friends told him that they were hungry. So Krishna told, "There are some Brahmanas living nearby. Go and ask them for food. Tell them that you have been sent by Krishna and Balarama." They did accordingly, but the Brahmanas, however, paid no heed to their request. So they went back to Krishna, disappointed. Krishna said, "If you have failed once, that doesn't mean you can't try again. Go to their wives and ask them this time. I'm sure they will give you." They went to the wives. And as soon as the mention of the word Krishna came, they immediately filled their pots with food and came running towards the spot. They found Krishna and Balarama. They looked together so beautiful. They were entranced by their beauty. Krishna told them, "Go back to your husbands, O Gopikas. Your affection for me is indeed great. None of them will say anything if you return." So the wives of the sages reluctantly left. Like Krishna said, they were accepted without any question. While Krishna and his friends were happily enjoying the food, the Brahmanas started to feel ashamed. They told, "Fie on us! We ignored the request of the Lord. Look at our wives. They haven't read any scriptures or Vedas, but look at their devotion to the Lord. All we have read is of no use if we can show no devotion to Lord Krishna." They wanted to go, but then fear of Kamsa held the rishis back. Now, I'm going to be telling an interesting story about Brahma's folly. As you know, Krishna played with his friends every day. So, on this particular day, Brahma was watching them play. His servant had informed him about Krishna killing Aghasura, Bakasura, and all the Asuras. Now Brahma wanted to check this out for himself, and his servant also told him that he suspected that Lord Krishna was none other than Lord Vishnu himself. Brahma, with his pride, said, Vishnu? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. If he was Vishnu, he would tell me. After all, I'm the supreme creator. So he was spying on Krishna and his friends. So he managed to lure Krishna away, and he sprinkled some sleeping powders, and the boys immediately fell into an enchanted sleep. Now Brahma carried them to Brahmaloka and kept them there. For a year this was there. Meanwhile, Krishna had resurrected his friends, but he hadn't resurrected. He split his form and he made himself as many friends. That way, Krishna now kept his friends and he played with them. He wanted to teach Brahma a lesson. So when Brahma checked on Krishna after a year, he was not disappointed. He was completely surprised to see his friends, Krishna's friends. He knew he had lulled them to a sleep in Brahmaloka. He even checked there. They were still there. Now Krishna, all the other forms which he had split, turned into Lord Vishnu. Now Brahma was very scared. So many Lord Vishnu. Oh my god, this is definitely Lord Vishnu. And suddenly many Brahmas came. And Brahma shouted, I am Brahma! Who are all these Brahmas? And Krishna spoke to Brahma. Oh Brahma, you are the creator of only one world. There are so many other Brahmas, some even more powerful than you. There are many Vishnus too. But then all the Brahmas and Vishnus obey my command. Think twice before you act, O Brahma. Realize what your pride has done to you. Brahma immediately realized what had happened and he bowed before Krishna and said, Oh dear Lord, please forgive me. This was my mistake. I will return your friends right now. And he returned his friends. And Krishna blessed Brahma and Brahma went away. That is the story of Brahma's folly. Now, this is an interesting story about Indra's arrogance, which revolved around Govardhana hill. One day, Krishna noticed his father and his priest preparing for a yagna. He wondered what this yagna was. So he asked his father, Nanda, about it. Nanda told, We every year do a yagna to Indra to show him how grateful we are to him for providing us with rain and materials. Why? Even the materials used for the yagna are made from rain. Krishna said, Why are we worshipping Indra? Indra is just doing his duty to Lord Vishnu. We should, we are Vaishyas. Our dharma revolves around worshipping what we find useful. Look at Govardhana hill. We can easily worship that. It provides our cows with food. It provides us with food. We can play in the waters. Look at its beauty. We should be doing a yagna to it, not Indra. Then Nanda confers with his priest, and his priest also agrees with Krishna. And they say, Krishna, you are right. We will worship Govardhana hill right now. So the Brahmanas set up yagnas for Govardhana hill. The cowherds distributed sweets and fruits among the villagers. And Slowly they began circling the mountain. But before circling, they had also offered some cows to the villagers. Krishna wanted to inspire confidence in his villagers. So, he assumed the form of a huge being on Mount Govardhana, and it shouted, I am Govardhana! Krishna, feigning surprise, said, Look at Govardhana. He is blessing us. Come on, let us all go. Let us circle him. And they started circling. Now Indra was very angry that his yagna had been cancelled. He told in his anger to destroy Vrindavan. And in his anger, he also released the storm clouds. The storm clouds flooded the city. The villagers went to Krishna for help. Krishna told them, Do not fear, dear villagers. I will protect you from Indra's wrath. Today, Krishna said this. He knew he had to punish Indra's arrogance. So, he went to Govardhana hill and he lifted it. And he lifted it with the tip of his little finger. And he carried it. Oh, he told, Dear friends, dear adults, dear villagers, come, take shelter in Govardhana hill. I will definitely protect you from Indra's wrath. As long as I am alive, Indra can never harm you. Come in here. And they all went in. It happened. Krishna lifted Govardhana for 7 days and 7 nights. This feat amazed Indra. All his arrogance gone. He bathed the clouds to stop their downpour. Now the villagers slowly exited Govardhana hill. And Krishna came out last. And he placed Govardhana hill in its rightful place. The villagers came rushing to Krishna to hug him, to say his thanks to him. Yashoda, Rohini, and Nanda hugged Krishna. Now, some days later, the villagers had a conference. In this, they were talking to Nanda. Oh, Nanda, how is it that your darling Krishna is the favorite of the entire village? How is he doing these feats? How can he lift Govardhana hill, kill Putana, and all those things? Remember the Arjuna trees he uprooted? Remember how he killed Trinavarta? Remember how he killed Bakasura? Your son is truly great. Yes, Nanda, we have some doubts. How is this? Your son, is he actually a human? Nanda said, Gargacharya has told me something about Krishna. I will say this to you, and your doubts will go. When first Gargacharya was naming Krishna, he told me, Dear Nanda, hear me well. I will remove all your doubts. This boy will bring good fortune to you and your people, and beauty, fame, and glory. Your son is equal to Lord Vishnu himself. So don't be amazed at his extraordinary deeds. And Nanda concluded, Since that day, I have considered this boy as a part of Lord Vishnu himself. The villagers said, Yes, now we understand. And they were also like, No wonder he's so powerful. Now, one day, Nanda was taking a bath on the sacred day of Ekadashi. So, when he stepped into the Yamuna, suddenly a monster grabbed him and took him down to the netherworld, which was ruled by Varuna. The villagers immediately ran. They shouted, Krishna! Krishna! Help your father! He's been attacked! Balarama, help! Krishna immediately dived into the water and went to confront Varuna, the lord of the netherworld. As soon as Varuna saw Krishna, he fell at Krishna's feet and he said, "Accept my prayers, O Lord. Forgive my servant for seizing your father. You are a witness to all our action." Nanda was surprised by even how much Varuna approached Krishna. And he was also surprised by Varuna's wealth and riches. But most of all, how Varuna had fallen at Krishna's feet. When Nanda returned to Vrindavan, he told his friends the story. And the friends were like, "Why? He's the Lord himself. Will he ever reveal to us his true self?" Now Krishna learned what was in their minds and soon revealed to them his infinite form, his Vishwarupa. They were filled with ecstasy at the sight. They could see the mountains, the rivers, all the animals, the entire universe in Krishna. They could see Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all of them. They were truly spellbound by the Vishwarupa of Lord Krishna. Now, it so happened on one moonlit night of autumn, Krishna played an enchanting tune on his flute. In the still of the night, the melody reached the Gopika's ears. They immediately left what they were doing and ran towards Krishna. Even the Gopikas, who were in the midst of their household chores, left their work unfinished and ran out. One left home as the milk was boiling on the fire. Another, who was adorning herself, rushed out with her tresses flying and kajal smeared. Even when the elders in their families tried to restrain them, they paid no heed and ran out. Those who were forcefully confined at home closed their eyes and meditated on Krishna and felt a deep sense of bliss. Radha, one of the Gopikas, who was Krishna's favorite, they both loved each other. But Radha's father hated Krishna. He kept Radha at home so that she couldn't go running towards Krishna. This was not narrated by Shukadeva. This is my own addition. But this is what happened. So, Parikshit suddenly interrupted the narration. He asked, "But the devotion of the Gopikas was not divine. It was just earthly love." Shukadeva replied, "All that is needed is to reach out for the Lord, be it through desire, anger, or fear. Whether it is a bond of affection, reverence, or friendship, it will bring you close to Him." Meanwhile, the Gopikas had gathered around Krishna. Krishna told them, "The forest trees, laden with flowers, are indeed enchanting in the mellow light of the full moon. The cool breeze caressing the waves is soothing too. But do not linger here. Your husbands await. You go back to your homes." The Gopikas were disappointed with his words. Their heads cast down, they bit their lips and tried to control their tears. In voices choked with emotion, they replied to Krishna, "Accept our devotion, O Krishna. It is no longer a secret that you have appeared in Vraja for our protection. Allow us to serve you." With a smile, Krishna agreed. So they became a wide circle. Krishna danced in the center, and occasionally he would play with one of the Gopikas. Whichever Gopika he played with felt like the best woman on earth. Now, seeing their pride, Krishna suddenly disappeared. They were surprised to see Krishna disappear. They shouted to the trees, "Oh Kadamba, tell us where our dear Krishna is." Soon they started enacting like Krishna. One acted like Krishna was playing a flute and said, "I am Krishna." One imitated the lifting of Govardhana. she said. Come in here, I will save Raja. Look, stay under Govardhana. I will destroy Indra's arrogance. Another imitated the killing of Kalia. Actually, it wasn't killing, it was a subduing. So, she climbed on the heads of two gopikas and said, Kalia, go away from here. You do not belong here. If you set foot in this river again, I will immediately kill you. Another said, I am baby Krishna, and one of you is the cart. I will overturn you. Come now. But the other gopikas had noticed some footprints, and they also saw a girl's footprints with them. They were curious to see who was Krishna's favorite. Krishna knew that he had to punish their pride, actually to teach them a lesson. So he had taken one of them with him. So that Gopika, out of vanity, said, Oh Krishna, I can't walk anymore. You will have to carry me. Krishna said, Certainly, dear, I will. And suddenly he disappeared. She realized that it was her vanity. That was how she had lost Krishna. She fell down unconscious. When the other Gopikas came, she finally regained consciousness and told them what had happened. She told, I insulted him out of my vanity and I lost him. This is my fault. The Gopikas were sad indeed. They prayed, Oh dear Lord, please show yourself again. Please. And suddenly Krishna appeared. And they sat down at the banks of the Yamuna. The Gopikas asked him, Krishna, some people love only those who love them. There are others who love them, even those who do not love them. While some people cannot love anyone. Which conduct is correct according to you? Krishna replied, Those who love expecting to be loved in return are selfish. Others who love without expecting anything in return are selfless and compassionate. Their love is like that of the parents for the child. Some people in the world seem to be incapable of love, but my dear Gopikas, I do not belong to any of these types. If I appear and disappear from amidst you, it is only to test your devotion. See how dear I became to you when I went away. I am touched by your affection. The Gopikas were now reassured and they stood in a circle around Krishna. Krishna now began his Ras Leela and he created multiple forms of himself and also one in the center which was playing the flute. So the Gopikas started dancing around Krishna. They danced for a long time. At last, they felt exhausted and they went to the Yamuna for cooling down. They splashed water on Krishna merrily. Soon, after a long time, they came out. And then Krishna bade the Gopikas to return to their home. Now Parikshit said, Surely Lord Krishna was born to eliminate sin from earth and establish dharma. How could he then behave thus with the Gopikas? Shukadeva gently explained, We should not judge the actions of the Lord by earthly standards. He neither gains merit by doing certain deeds, nor does the stigma of sin attach itself to him. He appears in human form and performs certain acts or leelas to inspire faith in people. Thus ends the third video of the Bhagawat Puran, Krishna, the upholder of Govardhana. I will resume the story in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. It will help the channel a lot if you do this. Like a lot, really.